Hey guys, if you checked in with me on my last two videos, I introduced Baron Baptiste methodology, and I'm splitting up the hour and a half to 2 hour long sequence, the full sequence, into 3 parts so that you guys can kind of just do a little taster of each one. So the first 2 are quite fiery. The last one, it can still be a little bit fiery. We do have abdominal core work in this section, but we also have a lot of hip opening, a lot of back bending for opening the front line of energy, and also the back line as well. So yeah, check in with me. We're gonna start on our bellies and see if you like Baron Baptiste methodology and how it sits with the physical body and the mind. Alrighty guys, we're gonna start on our belly. So just go ahead and lie down on the belly. You can take your right cheek to the mat first. And just take a moment to ground in. So feel the heart grounding into the earth. Feel a bit of support here. So as we go into back bends, this can bring up a lot of vulnerability. So just allow yourself to be open to what comes up. And also just allow yourself to accept the challenge. Bring the forehead to the earth. And go ahead and stretch the arms behind you, palms facing down. On an inhale, peel the chest up. Shoulder blades down the back and breathe here. Press into the tops of the feet and slightly into the pubic bone. Keep the neck long by looking down and forward. So we begin to engage here the lower back muscles, those erector spinae muscles, building a bit more strength for our spine. Take an inhale. And exhale, fold down left cheek to the mat this time. This time, inhale, peel the chest up, reach the arms forward. So stretch the arms forward and lift the legs up. So pressing through the pubic bone, keeping the neck nice and long, stay here. Again, we're firing up that back line, lengthening through the front line. Couple more breaths. And exhale, hands alongside the body, right cheek to the mat. Nice long legs. Take a few breaths here. And again, inhale, forehead to the earth. Peel the chest up, reach the arms forward, lengthen the legs back. Really fire up through that back line. Keep the neck nice and long. And exhale, left cheek to the mat, arms alongside the body. I'm going to bend the knees back behind us. Take a hold of the outside or the inside of the ankles, depending on where your flexibility is. Forehead to the mat. And on an inhale, press into the hands, lift the chest. Make sure the knees aren't splaying out. Keep them in closer together. Open the heart. Look forward. A slight rocking here on the pubic bone. Keep pressing the feet up towards the sky. We have a bit of dorsiflexion in the toes towards the shins. And slowly lower the chest and then release the ankles, right cheek to the mat, arms alongside the body. Inhale, forehead to the earth. Bend the knees, take a hold of the ankles. Peel the chest up. Reach up through the feet. Maybe a little bit of rocking here. So for some of us, if we've got quite bony hips, this can be a little bit painful. If you have a small blanket or a more padded mat, you can always use that. Keep the chest nice and open on every inhale, a little bit more higher. On every exhale, you might feel a bit of dissolution. Take an inhale. And exhale, slowly fold down, left cheek to the mat. Stretch the legs out long. And we're just slowly beginning to break any adhesions along the front line, across the heart meridian. So this can be a little confronting. Not all of us love back bends, but just allow yourself to embrace. Forehead to the earth. On the inhale, bend the knees. Take a hold of the ankles and lift up high. So I'm always saying in methodology here, the magic 5. So just allowing yourself at least 5 breaths. See if you can stay with that. Really allow yourself to embody the shape. Acknowledge where the sensations or frustrations are. And slowly lower on the exhalation, arms alongside the body. Legs nice and long. Bring the hands alongside the shoulders. On an inhale, tuck the toes, press up to a plank. On an exhale, downward facing dog. So just to roll through here and give our spine a little bit more fluidity. Inhale forward to a plank, wave forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, come down halfway. Inhale forward, Urdhva Mukha. So thighs are lifted, we're on the tops of the feet, chest is open. And exhale, downward facing dog. Again, inhale forward to a plank, wave. Exhale, down halfway. Inhale, heart opening. And exhale, contracting back. And surrendering in downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale down halfway. Inhale forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, use the core, draw the hips back and up, downward facing dog. And drop down to the knees. And come to standing on the knees. So we come into Ustrasana, or camel pose. Most importantly, we want to support the lower back here. So hands come to the lower back, fingers can point down or slightly around the sides of the hips. Do your best when we come into the back bend not to just press the hips forward. You want to keep the chest open, rolling the shoulders down the back and then coming back. You can have the toes tucked under. This will offer assistance if you try to come deeper into a back bend. Take an inhale, roll the shoulders down the back, open the chest. And on the exhale, slowly begin to look up, finding your back bend. You can stay here, no need to go further. Or bring the right hand down to the right heel, left hand down to the left heel, opening the heart, maybe letting the head drop back. And if this is too much for the neck, keep the neck activated, looking forward. Keep lifting the heart. If it feels okay for you to lower down to the tops of the feet, for a deeper back bend, take it. Take an inhale. Hands to the lower back, slowly coming up. So try not to snap yourself up. Hips to the heels. Take the hands to the heels and slowly begin to round the upper back. And try to bring the forehead to the earth, lift the hips. Rabbit pose, you'll feel some length here between the scapula and into the upper thoracic. Try not to put any pressure on the head. Just getting a bit of lengthening through the back line since we've just contracted it so much. And lower the hips down. Slowly wave up again to standing on the knees, and we go again. Hands to the lower back. Take an inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, slowly looking up, keeping the elbows in. Working the hands down towards the heels if that's where you're going, or staying with the hands at the lower back. letting the head drop back or looking forward, doing what's best for you. So our practice has a lot to do with making our own decisions. What's best for our body today. On the inhale, slowly coming back up. Sitting back towards the heels, hands on the heels, rounding the upper back, bringing the crown of the head to the earth, lifting the hips. Little to no pressure on the top of the crown. And just finding that lengthening through the upper back, lengthening our back line after contraction. Set the heels down, or the hips down, one last one. Coming up onto the knees, hands to the lower back. Inhale, and exhale, find your back bend. For those of you that are quite confident in your Ustrasana, you might even be able to bring your hands down the back of the thighs, slowly, maybe lowering the head down towards the ground, and then pressing all the way back up. A couple of pulses if you're taking this variation. Feel the lengthening through the quads. And then everyone, hands to the hips, coming back up, sinking down to the heels, hands to the heels, rounding the upper back, crown of the head down, lift the hips, rabbit pose. And slowly coming back up, sitting on the heels, and we'll just lean over to the left, bring our legs out in front of us, bend the knees, take a hold of the front of the shins, and just come onto the back. So we're coming into our bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana, Sarvangasana. Hands alongside the body, fingers towards the heels. On an inhale, press through the bottoms of the feet, lift the hips, roll the shoulders beneath you, clasp the hands. Really lift the hips up. Keep the knees closer towards each other. And engage through the hamstrings and the quads. So try not to engage the glutes. You can even poke them with the thumbs. Notice if there's any pulling in here. So release it so that the lower back is okay. So we don't want to cause any stress to our lower lumbar. Slowly unroll the shoulders, come all the way down. So you can do 2 more of these poses, 2 more bridges, or you can come into wheel pose. So for Urdhva Dhanurasana, we bring the hands alongside the shoulders, bend the elbows, ground down through the feet. And this time on an inhale, press through the feet, wave the pelvic floor up, wave the chest up, coming into your full wheel. So if this is not in your practice and you don't have someone to assist you, I would suggest just sticking with bridge. In either pose, really keeping the hips up, keeping the knees closer together, opening the heart space. In wheel, you press your chest through the shoulder girdle here. So creating some space for the lower lumbar so that we're not crunching in. And we always try to stay for around 5 breaths. So we have about 2 more. Bend the knees, bend the elbows, slowly wave down, and take a breath. So try to hesitate from pulling the knees into the chest just yet. In a full wheel variation, we don't want to expand and contract too quickly because it can be quite intense for the spine. On your 3rd round, either that bridge, lifting the hips up, shoulders beneath you, clasping hands, or full wheel, hands alongside the ears. Either one, inhale, peel up, And we stay here for 5 of our smoothest breaths. And slowly begin to lower. Either variation coming down to the earth. And this time, palms of feet together, allow the knees to open wide, and we come into Supta Baddha Konasana. Hands can relax alongside the body. And just allow for some hip opening here. So don't get too comfy. We're going to go through some abdominal work before we get too full into our hip opening. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. Open the eyes. Bring knees into the chest. And take a happy baby, or some call it dead bug. So taking a hold of the big toes, the shins, or the bottoms of the feet. And just allow the knees to go from side to side. You can rock from side to side or stay static, whatever feels best for you today. Knees into the chest. And then straighten the legs up overhead. So just as if we were reaching for a rope, I'm going to have the legs nice and straight coming out of the hips. Pull the shoulders off the mat and begin to reach up with the right hand and then reach up with the left hand and keep moving. So as if we're trying to pull onto an imaginary rope, pulling ourselves up, really plugging the lower back down, engaging those deep abdominal transverse muscles. And move slowly. So move with your breath. There's no rush. And we stay here for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees into the chest, just one breath. Keep a hold of the left knee, extend the right leg, and bring the hands to the back of the head. Twist to the left. Exhale, bend the right knee, pull it in, twist to the right. Keep moving back and forth, bicycling here. Really engaging our core. And try to bring the elbow more to the knee than the knee to the elbow. So pull the shoulders off the mat for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees into the chest. Breathe here. Send the legs straight up, arms alongside the body, toes together, heels out. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower 30 degrees. Lower another 30. Lower to hover. And bring the knees into the chest. Inhale, lift the legs up. Heels together, toes out, arms alongside the body. Breathe here. Inhale. Exhale, lower 30 degrees. Lower another 30. Lower to hover. And knees into the chest. Good work. Rock up to a seat. And keep the left shin parallel with the front of the mat. And just sweep the right leg back behind you. So we're coming into our pigeon pose. Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. It's a mouthful. So keep the chest nice and open towards the front of the room. And the more that the heel is in towards the groin, the more accessible the pose is. The more that the shin is parallel with the front of the mat, more challenging it is. So when you're ready, take an inhale. And an exhale, you'll slowly begin to fold forward. The hands can stretch out in front of you, and you can bring your forehead to the earth. Just allow yourself to relax down. Keep the hips square though, so if that left hip is falling out to the side, prop it up with a block, or if you're at home, a couch cushion or some dirty laundry, anything that you might have. Staying here, or if you have an upright variation or would like to try, come up onto the fingertips, bend the right knee back behind you, reach back with the right hand and pull that in to the right elbow crease. Left arm stretching up, binding here, nice open chest. We call this mermaid pose. If you're a man, we'll call it merman pose. And slowly unbind and come up if you're down on the pose. Lean over to the left and just sweep the right leg forward. Bring the left foot in to meet the right thigh. So we'll get to the other side in a moment. Janu Shirsasana. So we're going to inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, begin to slowly fold forward. Nice straight back. Once you find your edge and there's a little bit of tension in the back line, allow the arms to relax alongside the right leg and the head to drop in. If that means you stay upright on the palms, do so. There's no goal to get all the way down. If it's okay to take a hold of the right foot and you're not rounding the upper back, go for it. But integrity of alignment is important. So make sure that your breath is calm here. And slowly peel the chest up. So switching sides, bend the right knee, like that right shin goes towards the front of the mat, and send the left leg back behind you. So again, right heel into the groin, or shin more parallel with the front of the mat. But keep the right hip tucking back, square it up. When you feel good to come down, go ahead and come down to the elbows, maybe coming down onto the forehead. Slowly peel the chest up if you're taking that bind. Bend the left knee back behind you. Reach the left hand back. Pull it into the left elbow crease. Right arm reaching up, maybe taking a bind. So if we don't get there today, it's completely fine. Let go of the need to have the glory of the pose. It's more about lengthening the left quad, opening the heart space. 'Cause. 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 ' And we slowly let go, begin to come up if you're grounded, and swing that left leg forward. Right foot meeting the left thigh, Ustrasana. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, integrity in the spine, reach forward. Allow the arms to relax alongside the left foot or taking a hold of it and folding in. Peel the chest up. And slowly come to sitting on the heels. So we're going to come into frog pose. We're going to bend up the sides of the mat here. And go ahead and bring the knees nice and wide. And you want the knees to be in line with the ankles and knees in line with the hips. Protecting the knees and the ankle joints as much as you can. And let the knees go wide into frog pose. So a deep hip opening here for the end of the sequence. And just allow yourself to fold down. If you have a bolster, a pillow, blocks, anything that you might need, feel free to take that. But you want to make sure that you're creating a 90-degree angle here in the knees and the hips. So if you're sliding forward, use your elbows to press yourself back into that challenging discomfort. It might not feel great, but it is very good for you. Just allow yourself to breathe into that hesitation or frustration. And this will be the end of our methodology for the third round of Baron Baptiste. But when you're coming out of this pose, very slowly come out. So bring the feet towards the glutes, heels towards the glutes. Sit back towards the heels and slowly bring one knee in at a time. So we want to really, really be careful. And just sit back onto the heels and we'll end in child's pose. So feel free to stay here as long as you need. Just allow the forehead to come down to the earth. And breathe. And then I want to thank you guys for trying Baron Baptiste's methodology out with me today. You can stay in your child's pose for as long as you need. But if this is a methodology that you're interested in, you can find more videos on my YouTube. At youtube.com/Echo Giselle Widmer, which you're already here, so you already probably know. And I will be putting out the finalizing part of the sequence very soon as well, so you can just click on over to that video if you want to finish it out. Thank you guys for joining me today. Namaste.